Right now, if you really stop and look, there are plants growing in your backyard, in the cracks of your driveway, along your garden edges, even scattered through your lawn, that you have spent years trying to get rid of. You've pulled them out by hand, sprayed them with chemicals, buried them under mulch, and still, every single year, they come right back like nothing ever happened. But here's the shocking truth. Some of those plants are more nutritious than anything you're intentionally growing in your raised beds right now. The very thing you've been trying to destroy may actually be more valuable than the crops you've been carefully tending. The average household spends hundreds of dollars each year maintaining a lawn, and a large portion of that money goes directly into eliminating these plants. What you've been taught to see as weeds is actually a fully functioning, self-sustaining food system. And by the end of this, you're going to see your yard completely differently. Before the idea of a perfectly manicured lawn became the standard, plants like dandelion weren't treated as pests at all. They were planted on purpose. Early settlers brought them across oceans because they understood their value as a food source. Think about that. A plant people now go out of their way to eliminate was once considered important enough to transport across continents. Today, people spend money every spring trying to get rid of something that grows freely and produces food without asking for anything in return. Starting with number 6, dandelion, you already know it. Bright yellow flower, jagged leaves, and that familiar puffball seed head. But what most people don't realize is how nutrient-dense this plant actually is. A small handful of dandelion greens delivers an incredible amount of vitamin K, along with beta-carotene and calcium. And every part of the plant can be used. The leaves, the flowers, and even the root, which can be dried or roasted. While other greens need constant attention, dandelion pushes through compacted soil, survives cold temperatures, and continues producing for months without any effort. It doesn't rely on ideal conditions. It creates its own. Number 5 is purslane, and this one surprises a lot of people because it doesn't look like much at first. It grows low to the ground with thick, smooth stems and small leaves, almost like a succulent. But nutritionally, it does something very few plants can do. It provides omega-3 fatty acids, something most people try to get through supplements or specific foods. While many garden crops struggle in heat and dry conditions, purslane thrives. It actually prefers the harsh environments that slow everything else down. When other plants are wilting in peak summer, this one is still growing, spreading, and producing without needing your attention. Number 4 is lamb's quarters, and this is one that often gets overlooked or mistaken for something else. It has soft green leaves with a dusty coating underneath and grows upright among other plants. But this is one of the most powerful edible greens you can find growing on its own. It provides protein, vitamins, and minerals, and it can be prepared just like spinach. Historically, it wasn't ignored. It was intentionally used as both a leafy green and a grain. Today, people go through the effort of growing similar crops while this one grows freely nearby, asking for nothing. Number 3 is wood sorrel, and this plant fills a space that most gardens struggle with. It grows in shaded areas where many other edible plants won't thrive. You'll find it under trees, along fences, and in those overlooked corners of your yard. It has small, clover-like leaves with a bright, tangy flavor. That flavor actually points to its nutritional value. It provides vitamin C, something that becomes especially important when fresh foods are limited. While other crops need sunlight and space, this one quietly produces in places most people ignore. Number 2 is clover, and this is one of the most misunderstood plants in any yard. Most people see it as something to mow over or remove, but it's actually working beneath the surface in a powerful way. It interacts with the soil to add nutrients naturally, improving the environment for everything growing around it. At the same time, it produces flowers that can be used in different ways and supports pollinators that benefit the entire garden. What many people try to eliminate is actually helping the whole system function better. And finally, number 1 is chickweed. This plant shows up early, often before anything else has started growing. It forms low mats with small leaves and delicate white flowers, thriving in cooler conditions when most plants are still dormant. It fills a critical seasonal gap, providing fresh greens at a time when food sources are limited. It grows without being planted, spreads easily, and continues returning year after year. It has a mild, fresh flavor and delivers nutrients right when they're needed most. Once it establishes itself, it becomes a permanent part of your landscape. When you step back and really look at what's happening, it changes your entire perspective. These are plants that cost nothing, require no setup, no irrigation systems, no fertilizers, and no constant maintenance. They grow on their own, adapt to whatever conditions they're given, and continue producing without being asked. At the same time, people are spending money and effort trying to remove them, replacing them with systems that need constant input just to survive. The difference between these plants and the ones most people choose to grow isn't just convenience, it's resilience. These plants have adapted over time to handle real conditions without support. They don't depend on perfect soil or controlled environments. They survive change, stress, and neglect, and they still produce. That's something most traditional gardening approaches overlook. So the real question isn't whether these plants are useful. They've already proven that they are. The real question is whether you're willing to see them differently, whether you're willing to stop fighting them and start recognizing what they actually offer. Because once you do, your yard stops being something you manage and starts becoming something that works for you.